Hey everybody, so before you move on with this video, definitely look at the video before this because it is very important before we even move forward with this video. So you have encountered this video and you're looking to develop your sensitivity, expanding your awareness. Definitely look at the previous video because that will be a great understanding to why we are even doing this video today, and especially in directing ourselves in a healthy way so that we don't get carried away with certain things in life. But we are just simply touching on some very specific techniques that I have been working with for a while and have worked with with others in the past, because for those who may not know, I actually used to host intuitive development classes, and I just simply want to just use what I use there, but also talk about some things that I have come to experience after I have done those things in my past. With that, let's move forward. So I'm going to start on a basic technique that all of us can work with, and for many of us, or all of us, can use in our daily lives. I do this every single morning, more so to get my energy up, running, and flowing, and it's something basic, and it is physical. We're going to start with the physical, and we are using our awareness to develop our sensitivities to the physical body in regards to sensations, feelings, all sorts of things. As you're doing your healing work and working with certain energies or working with your own energies, you begin to experience a lot of things on, I call it, on a subtle level. You'll be able to use this to guide certain things, to get a sense for what's going on. If you're able to sense and move with things, and this subtleness will guide you in your own way, because everybody's not the same. Everybody don't sense and feel in a certain way. You have to sometimes figure things out for yourself, but these sensitivities will help guide you into understanding and feeling what is going on. You can begin to use these sensitivities as a way to exercise cautions, or understand when healing is occurring, and understand when integration is occurring, understanding when someone is stepping into your space, understanding when your energy is being manipulated. Because when we begin to work with sensitivities and our subtleness and our energies, you're working with different types of energies. You're working with different aspects of yourself that you may not have been aware of. And we're going to start small, we're going to start simple, and that is stretching. For many of us, this can go into yoga, but I'll tell others who might even want to do yoga or whatever, stretch. In the morning, stretch your muscles. And I'm going to say this, as you're stretching your muscles, I'm just going to give you an example. As you're doing this, I do this all the time. Focus on the sensations that's going on in the muscles and the body, and the tension in the body, and hold that position as long as you can. I usually do up to 10 to 20 count, and you begin to sense and feel tension rising, but pay closer attention. You'll get a sense of, energy warming up and moving forward and flowing through your body. And that's you working with your own inner energy. You may have a lot of energy that's stuck and trapped in your body due to a lot of suppression, and by working with your own body, you can get some energy moving and flowing. So I'm going to do this arm because I'm noticing that I need to stretch this. And I tell people, when you go to sleep, a lot of times our barriers come down, and certain energies may be interacting, or we got some programs coming to the surface, just doing a lot of things. When you wake up, our energy sometimes becomes stagnant. So it's a great thing in the morning, at least, before you do anything, that you stretch, as I would like to say, activating the energy in your body, so that you can bring about sensations. Now, for some of you all may not even sense anything, but you working with your body to get the energy flowing, because as you get the energy flowing, you get into touch and get a sense of your own energy, your own body. You learning to connect and communicate with your own body so that you can pick up sensitivities. You start with the basics. A lot of us will just go straight there there. No, we're going to start with the physical body, getting a sense for our physical body, and sense and feel when things are occurring. And I call it becoming aware of our physical body and the sensations in our bodies. We learn to be able to integrate and be able to become aware and take on the observation, I call it observation mode or witness mode, so that you may be able to like take a step back and be like, okay, I'm sensing this, I'm feeling this, I recognize this. When this happens, this is what I feel. And that is when you begin to integrate your subconscious mind and get a sense and feeling for your subconscious mind and your shadow self. I'm at the phase in my life, I like to say that I am pretty much very connected to my subconscious mind. It is easier for me to feel and catch things as I'm walking and talking, but like, why am I sensing this? Why am my shadow self bringing this up? Why is my subconscious bringing this up? So when it comes to working yourself and healing yourself, you begin to take your sensitivities to a deeper level and expand yourself there. So we are just starting with the basics. Stretch your muscles, stretch your legs, definitely get into the mode, take your time, and definitely get a sense and a feel for your energy in the physical body, because with that you'll be expanding yourself there. So with that, let's move on to the next exercise. So with this exercise, we'll be getting to learning how to become the observer, being able to step out of our minds when we need to. Now, stretching and getting to meditation and doing yoga will help you to step out of your mind if you do it in a way not to suppress yourself, but to sense and bring sensations and feelings to the surface so you can bring upon your own healing. But when it comes to bringing about and expanding our higher energies or integrating and doing our healing work, you're getting into the observation mode or becoming the observer, so that you can allow the mind to step to the side so you can communicate with other energies. And being able to communicate with other energies is first being able to communicate with your own energy, getting a sense for your own energy that's always been there, and you learn to sense your own feelings and your own emotions and being in contact with those with the subtleness in your energy, so you can be able to use that to communicate with a higher or expanded sense of self. You're learning to incorporate that. You're expanding that so you can incorporate that into your daily life, and you're using that higher energy to bring about healing. I like to call this walking with grace, but that's a different story. So as I talked about in the last exercise, getting a sense and a feel for your feelings and your emotions. So as we're going to start incorporating. So as you stretch, learn just to be there and just to feel. Just to feel. You're not thinking, don't even think. Just feel. And allow these feelings to occur. Feel the tension. And if any emotional stuff come up, allow that emotional stuff to come to the surface. And as you begin to allow emotional stuff to come to the surface, sometimes you are putting yourself in a situation where you can begin to do your healing work. But that is something to talk about on another day. But what we're doing today is to simply learn how to observe, to get in the moment. For some of us, we can do this easier just by simply going out for a walk. Some of us just work on that level. Some people get into the moment without thinking by going into work. Some of us use practical meditation techniques such as breathing. You got to figure out what works for you, but we're doing this just to say that learn how to step out of your mind, because being able to step out of your mind and become the observer will help you to actually get in contact with energy, or just to get a sense of your own energy and get in contact with your own energy. Because as you begin to get in contact with your own energy and get a sense for who you are and what you are, it gets easier to do a lot of integration work and a lot of healing. So with that, let's move on to the next exercise. So with this exercise, what we're going to be talking about is connecting with your heart and using this connection with your heart to be able to connect with your environment, to be able to connect with people, places, and things. And you could do this with just holding any object. I like to hold a rock or show people how to hold a rock. And what you're doing is you want to get a sense and a feel for the frequency or the sense senses you pick up from the stone and the rock. You get a sense of the frequency or the energy in the rock. To be able to do this often means that you have to learn how to become the observer and learn how to feel and sense things on a subtle level without the mind interjecting. So with that, when it comes to expanding ourselves and our awareness, we learn to simply connect with life, or extending ourselves to life and other things and energies and people and places, so that we can communicate with it and experience it, and sometimes vice versa. So with that, hold an object in your hand, any object. It could be metal or whatever. And what you do is you can do this first. You can do this by practicing what we talked about, as in holding the object and just clearing your mind and getting a sense and a feeling for the object. So what you want to do is you want to focus on your heart, and you want to sense and feel the heart pulse or the heartbeat in your chest. You want to expand that and feel that in your arms and legs and your back and all sorts of things. If you can expand it that far. If you can't, don't worry about it, but you can sense and the feeling for your heart. And what you're doing as you holding this object, it could be a stone or a rock or a crystal or any other type of metal object. It don't even matter, or wood, a piece of wood, whatever. You're getting a sense and a feeling. You becoming the observer and allowing yourself, creating a space so that your sensations and your feelings could step in to help you to observe certain things. You stepping into your higher awareness to communicate with this rock. And so what happens is, as you focus on it, you should be able to pick up sensations. Now, it may at first feel as though that it is your heartbeat, but it's through being able to sense and ask in your heart, what does this stone or this item or this object feel like, that you begin to feel and sense the frequency or the vibration of the stone. So with that, as you begin to focus on it, be like, show me, and you become an observant. And I'll be honest, at first your mind is going to want to interject, but every time your mind interject, don't force it, don't suppress it, just be like, okay. And and if some feelings come up, let those feelings come up, let it clear, and then refocus back on this. And then just, observe. And as you observe and learn to work with subtle energies, it becomes easier to sense the energies in the stone. And then you'll be able to communicate with the stone. And I've come to find that every energy can communicate with you, or you can communicate with it. And it gives us and help us to understand that we share life not only with ourselves, but with others and objects and things. So with that, let's definitely move on to the next exercise. I want to get into visualization, because this is pretty much the next step in regards to being able to direct energy. This is when you begin to direct your sensitivity so that you can do, I like to call, energy work, being able to sense and feel things, but definitely using this to guide ourselves and to sometimes bring about some healing and integration. But for those of us who definitely want to explore, we're using this to direct our experience, direct our sensitivity, bring in energy to do energy work, working with the life force, sensing that energy, sensing the physical body energy, sensing your soul energy, your higher self energy, even your subconscious and shadow self. So you begin in touch with a lot of different types of energies. You begin to understand what types of energies are what and why and what is going on. And you could begin to definitely not only communicate, but expand yourself here and work with some groundedness. As you begin to direct and communicate and work with different energies, it definitely becomes much easier to sense and feel what is going on. Now, this has helped me immensely, and for those who are advanced, we're already working with visualization, and visualization is pretty much our ability to direct our visions or direct our imagination. Imagination is something that comes easier for most of us, but visualization can be a little difficult for some people, because it actually means directing our inner vision, our inner sight, and definitely in communicating with ourselves or others or various aspects of life. So I did do a video years ago on visualization, but I'm definitely just gonna reiterate things here on a simple level. But visualization, learning visualization techniques, I'm not gonna go too much into it today. You can do some research on Google or whatever, but doing visualization techniques to expand yourself, not to suppress yourself, but to expand yourself, to do sometimes even your healing work, some integration, to ground yourself, to work with yourself. If you're dealing with some things on a spiritual level, you can begin to understand what's going on and working with that. That's just pretty much it for the rest of this video. There are other techniques that I could go into that I'm not going to really go into, but I'm just starting with the basics. And I don't want to go too long in this video. If you enjoyed this video and this content, definitely subscribe and comment below. If you want me to talk about certain things, definitely let me know. And I'll be looking forward to working with you all and talking about some other interesting things. Take care, have a great day, and be good. See ya. Bye.